Hi,
Good to see you.
good to see you, Jibike. How are you?
Oh, okay. Hi, Gajen.
Sorry?
Okay, I don't think they have the remaining people. I'm trying to see if they have turned on their microphones. So 1 second, let me think it's his first time of using Zoom, so I need to tell him to turn on his microphone. How are
How are
you?
you doing?
Good.
That's good to know.
Sorry I had to drag you out of bed so early, but thank you all the same.
No, it's okay. At least I feel useful this morning, so that's okay.
You need to turn on your microphone. Gajen, I just sent you a message on WhatsApp. Please look at it. So we need him. And Carol, we need you to turn on. Let me see, Carol. Okay, connecting. Gajen, your mic is still off, Gajen. So look on the screen of your phone. You see the microphone button, the microphone icon. It should be red right now. So if you click on it, it'll come back on. It will come on. Yay!
Hello. Yeah?
Yes. Hi, yo. Okay, so we're just waiting for Carol to connect properly.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing today, Gajen?
I'm fine, thank you. A little bit busy about my online class.
Okay. Gajen, this is Marigold.
Hi,
Mhm.
Gadget.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from UK,
Nice.
Dartford.
I don't know why I can't see everybody on the same screen. Is it because I'm using my phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
So waiting for Carol
How
right
many people
now.
we're gonna do? 3, 4? 4 people in total?
People keep joining, so I have to add them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just few minutes. I think Carol might have issues connecting, so that's just what I'm trying to see for. What else? What else? Let me see. Anyways, how you guys doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't
How long
complain.
it will gonna be? How long it will gonna be?
About 40 minutes.
Okay.
Or it's not going to be so long.
Because
Oh,
I already sit in 2 hours for one online class and listen the lecture.
no, it's not going to be that long. Don't worry. Carol. I'm just trying to see to make sure Carol is we can. Uh,
Oh, okay.
can you
More
see
like
it? You need to slide.
yes, I see
Then
everybody.
you see you have like a grid like.
Yes, I see that.
Okay. Hmm. 1 second. Okay, I think we can just start and then hopefully she'll be able to catch up because so I don't waste anyone's time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Margot, since you joined first, can you just give us like a quick introduction, like what you do, where you're from, where you are presently.
I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean
Gajan,
myself?
Marigold
No,
will
no,
go
that's
first.
fine.
No,
You can go.
Marigold, you go first.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Nigeria and I live in Canada. I work as a hairstylist, so I come in contact with a lot of people on a daily basis, and yeah, it's pretty much
Oh,
what I
okay,
do.
cool. Thank you. Gajan, can you please introduce yourself and just, tell us what you do and where you're from?
Okay. It's my turn now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity first to share my experience and listen your experience. Anyway, I'm Gajan Katwal, living in United Kingdom, studying as an international social development student. I'm originally from Nepal. Before to come to UK, I used to work in development activity, different multilateral and bilateral organization in Nepal. So here I'm as a chairperson in my community, Nepalese community, working here. And I'm as an advisor working in different diaspora organizations like non-residential Nepalese in UK as well. So I live with my family. I have one son and my wife. That's it.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. That's nice. So we're all here because we want you guys to share experiences about COVID. So
Mhm.
how did you? So Marigold, you're a hairstylist, so you come in contact with a lot of people. And
Right.
then you work for the Nepalese community here in the UK as well as diaspora and stuff. So how did you come in contact with COVID?
Very interesting. Actually, this question for me, isn't it?
It's for both of you, but you can continue
Go
since you
first.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Those days I was at home and taking precaution about corona transmission, and just went to a couple of shopping and filling station. I guess I might be cut from shopping or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a guess. I don't
So,
know
you,
where it's
so
come
you're
from.
not even sure where you got it from.
Don't know.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Thank you,
Because
Marigold.
I usually the working with the big community, and we preparing for some of the support system within the community, and all of a sudden corona caught me. I'll say anything later.
Okay. So Marigold, what's your own story?
To be honest, I don't know how I caught it,
Yeah.
but I'm expecting it's probably from a client.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I didn't come in contact with anyone that I'm aware of, so it's hard to say, like how that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you asymptomatic or it was the normal headache, cough, dry cough, tiredness?
For me,
Um,
yeah.
so for me, like I think I got my first symptoms 31st of March.
Okay.
So it was almost like just a random cold. So I was sneezing, I was coughing, um, I had a little bit of a headache. So I went to the pharmacy and, I told him, he said, oh yeah, you probably have allergies. So he recommended some medicines for me and I took that and it wasn't working. And then on the 5th of April was when I had all the symptoms. So I had like shortness of breath. Uh, I I had no strength. I couldn't eat. I couldn't smell. I had a fever. Like I had everything. So at that point, I went to the emergency, and the doctor said he was going to run a test and let me know what the results was. So yeah, and then he came out positive, and yeah. So I didn't show symptoms per se until like the 5th day, I believe, or 6th
Okay.
day.
Okay.
So
And when you heard that, like when they told you that you were positive, how did you feel at that point? What reactions, what emotions? How was your general well-being at that point?
For
so the
me,
thing is,
oh yeah,
No,
you
go ahead.
continue, yeah. Yeah, it's fine,
Gretchen, you
fine.
come up after her. So
Okay, fine.
so For me, like, because I went to the hospital on April 5th, and then he took a swab from my mouth, and he said it's going to take like 5 days for me to get a result. I was like, 5 days? Like, I could be dead before then, if that was the case. And I did have like chest pain on my right side. Like, if I coughed, like, I had this, I don't know, it was like a pinching. It's like something was going through my head. So he said he was going to run what's it called, like a X-ray. So he did that, and he said I was fine. I can go home. I was like, oh, really? He said, yeah, we'll let you know what the test result was. So that was on Sunday, and 2 days after, I get a missed call with a voicemail from the doctor saying, hi, this message is for Marigold. Your test came back positive. So stay home, continue to isolate, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I went from like feeling 85% to feeling like 0. I just felt sick all over again, I called the hospital, and yeah. So they connected me to the doctor. He said, yes, just stay home, isolate. I'm like, I live with people. Like, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, yeah, just continue to isolate, sanitize and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that was it. And he said, just treat your symptoms. But if you have like shortness of breath, come back to the emergency. And I was like, okay. So yeah, it's not a good feeling, because I think on Monday, after I took my medicine, I felt better. I felt really good. I woke up, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling good. I probably don't have COVID, and I just get about my business, doing whatever. And then I got that voicemail the following day, and it just shattered my world. Like, I just felt sick all over again.
Wow. Okay, Gajan, can we hear your story?
It's like similar actually. End of the March, I noticed that I have continue coughing, and I'm scared a little bit because I'm taking medicine for the diabetic as well, type 2. So I took precaution, but April 3rd, I think, from the April 3rd, I got the fever as well, and cough, fever, and I noticed that I have some diarrhea. So I was surprised, well, what the symptom is, and I just checked the website and everything. And as per the government rule, I ring 111 to the NHS, and they suggest me to, live like isolation. Maybe the symptoms is like similar with the COVID. So from 6th of April, I have very heavy problem with breathing. So my son rang to the ambulance 999. Then I went to hospital, ICU. I spent 2 days there, and come back home and taking rest. That's it.
Oh.
And they give me a report later on the positive. So after that, just staying in home till that. It's the 3rd week.
3rd week.
Yes. That's the story.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, at the beginning, I'm a bit scared because people are dying. The number of death toll was very high, so and so. So nowadays, I realize that it was very hard time. Luckily, we survived, and we all family. We the corona got to all the family. So it was very hard time for us. So it's now fine.
Okay, thank you so much. So finally, we have Carol. Carol, we can hear and we can see you. Hi. Can you just introduce yourself to everyone? We can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can? Yep. Everybody? Hey, good morning, Marigold. Morning, JB. Hi. Good morning. Gajan?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Good afternoon.
And Alex, good morning, everybody. So I'm so sorry. I am in work mode right now. I'm working from home, and I am not, like right now, quarantine for me is like, there is no cute, there is no anything. There's just me right now. So
All
just
right,
bear
fine.
with the messy look. But anyways, so again, my name's Carol Oban. I got to go back to the text message of what JD said we should use as our introduction. So let me look to make sure I got this right. Sorry guys. All right, here we go. So so I'm Carol again. I'm in the US. I live in I work in New York City, but I live in Arizona. So go figure, right? I'm kind of bi-coastal. I'm a mom, single mom, working mom, all the other good stuff. I love Jesus. Yeah, that's a big deal for me. So I talk about that every time. And then I work with youth, I mentor, but my actual profession within the secular world is that I do IT training for clinicians and medical professionals. So that's what I do. So because I work in New York, I stay in Jersey, which is like a tunnel away. If you guys have ever been, I don't know if you've ever been, but it's like a tunnel away from New York. And what's interesting is that in order for me to get to work, I have to get on the subway. And if you know anything about subways, I don't know about where all of us are from, but subways in the United States of America, especially New York City, it's kind of like a breeding ground for everything disgusting.
Right.
So my story is very similar to Marigold's, and by and large Gadgen as well, because mine was a little bit different, because when my fevers started on March 22nd. That's when I started getting fevers, and for me, I was just like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, and it's interesting because the very same day that I got that fever, I found out that somebody that I taught and mentored for years passed because of COVID complications. Like you get when he had diabetes, he passed from that. Immediately I heard that news, it's like it affected everything in me. And that night I had the highest fever. The fever actually did break the next morning, but from that Monday all the way till Friday, I was not okay. And on Friday, when I couldn't breathe because of the shortness of breath, is when I took myself to the emergency room. And when I got there, very similar to Marigold, the only reason why they were concerned about me was that my oxygen was not staying stable, because it was literally, and when I get up and moved and did anything, it would drop from 90s all the way down. It actually went at one point all the way down to 40. But they didn't vent me only simply because of the fact that so in addition to some serious prayers and all of that, they were able to let me go, and I went home. And for me, of course they did the test, but just like Marigold, they did a chest x-ray and they saw nothing. So in my head, I'm thinking, crap, this is just a flu. I just need to go home and sort myself out. But what's interesting is that every single symptom, with the exception of the coughing, I had it. So I'm talking about no taste, appetite suppression, no smell, joint pains, aches, chest pains, stabbing chest pains. Like, I had it all, right? I did not find out my result that I was positive until the following Thursday. So not until April 3rd did I find out that I tested positive. So all this time, still going to work, thinking, dragging myself, because I work as a consultant. So you don't have the options of saying, let me just sit down. You don't have those options. So I didn't have a test result. I just knew that I took the test, and I wasn't as well as I felt like I could be, because my energy was, you know what I mean? But anyways, so I got the result, and by this time I started to feel, I'm like, I got up, just like Marigold said, I got up, I was like, yeah, I'm good, everything is great. Got the result, it's like, and this is why I say this particular disease is not physical, it's a spiritual and a mental thing.
Yeah, it's mental. Very.
Yeah. One thing I would like to add with the Carol, actually, that at that time, the coughing and the high fever and the diarrhea. Hello?
Yes.
We can hear
Is
you.
disconnected? Oh, yeah. And another one thing, that much of cough, I noticed that there is no space for breathing. That sort of
Yes.
cough I feel. And another one thing I notice is my, the left side lungs infected. That's why I
Yeah.
was in hospital. So it
Yeah.
is very hard,
Oh yeah.
very hard.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that because I literally went through it. But when I got the result, the Friday after I got the result, I was the Friday after I got the result, I all of a sudden it's like every single symptom, everything, it just came right back.
Yep.
What didn't come back was the I my sense of taste. No. I'm lying. Everything came back. And at this time it now heightened because now the chest pains became literally unbearable. You understand what I'm saying? And it was like when I tell you I had no energy, I felt like I was pregnant all over again. If you've ever been pregnant, you know what it feels like when you need to, if you see a human being, you'd eat them because literally all your energy is being used up for the baby. And that's literally what was going on with my body. So everything did not take its toll to calm all the way down until April 15th. So from March 22nd to April 15th, I was there in this COVID situation. And I think for me, the most, and I attribute all of the glory of this to God because I did not take a lick of medication throughout this whole situation. Nothing. The only thing I was doing was vitamin C, zinc tablets, vitamin D, and water. Well, lemon water. And then every now and then I would do all those old remedies with the orange peel and all that good stuff. But I had no medication. They gave me nothing. And I literally was going through it. I was going through it, trust me. So it was a very interesting experience. It's not something to take lightly. Like Agent said, it's definitely, it really uses up all your bodily resources. It shuts you down. It shuts you down. So that's my experience.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, but I can't because it's a whole lot. But you guys came through it, and that's amazing. And for the fact that you took it for almost a month without even realizing that it was COVID, you're an MVP.
For me, that it's
Yeah,
funny
the
that she
Carol
said
said
that
that she
because
is not taking any medicine, but
No medicine.
within that period, I took 108 paracetamol. Imagine 108 paracetamol total to control the fever.
Wow.
It's like a
That's
story
crazy.
now, but it was very hard.
That is
is
quite
so
interesting.
crazy.
Wow. Someone didn't take medication. Someone took 106 tablets. Wow.
Mm.
So it's good to get different feels about
Yep.
this. So Loban, you mentioned that you're a single, sorry, Carol, you mentioned that you're a single mom. So at this point, how are you treating your daughter? And Gajan also, you have a son. So how are you also being able, how did you manage the situation with your son and with your daughter?
Well, I have a very interesting situation, and I don't have one child. I have 5 children. So what's interesting with my situation is that because I work in New York and my home is in Arizona, my children were not with me while I was going through this. So I was literally self-isolated by myself. There was nobody. My kids weren't with me. I'm okay now, so I'm with them. But when I was going through this, there was no way. There was absolutely no way. No way. So I don't have an experience of dealing with, people around me while I was isolated.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I noticed that I have a corona. Then, as per the suggestion of National Health Service, we stayed in this separate room, separate toilet, and everything separate. Me, my wife, and son. Even we can't cook and we can't do anything. But that time, our community people, our volunteer people, they support us very nicely. That 10, 11 days, they cook food and they bring us. They will, they drop in our door and everything. Because the interesting thing is, I already mentioned that I'm a chairperson of the Dartford Nepalese community. And whenever the COVID start in the United Kingdom, we form 2 separate volunteers groups. One is for logistics support team, and then another one is for a health support team. Within the health support team, there is consultants, doctors, and the nurses are there. and the logistic team, there's all the other friends are there. Then if anybody needs, they will support them, and I also support them. But I became ill, I became sick, so with 3 people we sleep in bed for 1 week or more than that. That time our community people, they support us, and I like to hats off them. It's very fantastic support.
That's great. That's great. Marigold, that was actually going to be my next question. Who or what was your form of support this during the whole era or season?
Well, because when you go to the hospital, like they take your information and they ask for next of kin. So I have a friend, like she's very close to me, so I put her information there, and I had to call her to let her know what was going on because I didn't tell my family back home. I didn't want to like scare anybody. I didn't want, like, my mom would freak out, and I didn't want that. So I told her, and she was like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, she so she helped me with like grocery shopping and stuff. And another of my friend, like I called a few friends, and they were very helpful. Like one helped me with the drugs, one helped me with like groceries, another one helped me with groceries, and they'll come outside my house and we'll just like chat. And then I also had like friends that I was talking to over the phone, like giving me more support and stuff like that. And that was just how I went through it, because I don't think I could have done it by myself. I don't think so. Like living in another country by yourself without family, and then having COVID is not something that you want to deal with by yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm honestly grateful for my friends. It was after I felt well, then I told my family, and my my mom still thinks I'm lying. She's like, "How did you? What do you mean you have COVID? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you have COVID?" Like, and I was like, yeah, and because I called them on video. My dad stays in it like 8 hours away from where my family is, so I had to call my dad. I called my mom, and then I called my brother. And when I told them the news, my mom was like, she froze. She's like, "What do you mean you have COVID?" I said, "Well, I'm better now. That's why I've called you." She said, "But you look good." I said, "Yes, I'm taking care of myself." Like, she's like, "It's not true. You don't have COVID." I said, "Mommy," and I told her, and then she after the phone call, she called me back again. She's like, "Are you serious? You have COVID?" I'm like, "Yes." She literally started crying. She's like, I'm like, "Mommy, stop. I'm fine now." But yeah, like it's not something that you want to go through by yourself. So like I'm grateful for my friends. They were there calling me on the phone and sending me stuff, and that was how I was able to go through it.
Wow, that's good. So this question is for all of you as well. At any point in time, or did you at any point in time feel lonely?
Nope.
No.
You had your family with you.
Because I have my family, and another one thing is they support me tremendously, very nicely. And another one thing is I already informed my coordination team within our community, so they know that I have a COVID, and the other people some have the COVID, and they frequently ring me, text me, and support me, and that there's no option to lose the fight. That's why I didn't feel any lonely that time.
Right, Lucky.
I'm not gonna downplay this, because I think that it's important for us to recognize the very, very high mental state that mental affliction, I should say, that this situation has had on me. So because I wasn't with my family per se, like my immediate family, like most of everyone said, I had a support system. So my aunt was downstairs, because my apartment is upstairs, my husband was downstairs, and whatever I needed, she would go ahead and get for me, and friends, my church sisters and younger ones that will come and get me groceries, like my other family members. So yeah, when it comes to things that I needed, if I ever needed this, all I just needed to do is make a phone call. I spoke with my mom, I spoke to my kids. That's all well and good, because it happened, right? But I believe that we should not downplay the fact that there is this whole feeling of, oh my God, because I have this thing, I could literally die in my sleep because I don't know all the necrosis that's going on in my body. Or I don't know what it is. And I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that and I'm hearing the other. Am I going to be okay? There were nights when I was literally having, and I mean, again, this is, like I said, all the glory is God's own, because once I started speaking some word over myself, I was fine, but I was having panic attacks because of it is not to say that I was, at that point, I felt extremely alone. You understand what I'm saying? And had it not been for my faith, it would be very, very hard to kind of come out of something like that, especially when you're by yourself. But I think, yes, we have all survived it and it's great, but we should not downplay that just simply because of the fact that there are people that are going through it and they need to know how to overcome those feelings. They need to know how to not launch themselves into a state of despair, because what is worse than that is the fact that when your mental starts playing, the symptoms actually worsen, believe it or not. You understand what I'm saying? And it's all fear. Fear is what is really causing a lot of people to pass and not really have the will to fight. You know what I mean? So I am going to say that, yes, I did experience bouts of loneliness. It wasn't because there weren't people around or I didn't have a support system, but it was because of the fact that when you get something that, quote unquote, can be terminal simply because of the fact that there is no cure or there is not enough information to be able to properly treat it, that gets into your head. And when that gets into your head, it becomes like, oh, Lord Jesus, am I going to be okay? So I just kind of wanted to put in that element because it's a very, very important element that we need to consider and be aware of. It's very, very important.
Thank you,
Well,
Carol.
for me, I think I wouldn't say lonely. I was never lonely. I just think it was just the fear of having the disease and just not knowing what could happen, because like everyone reacts differently, right? So not knowing how your body's going to react to this virus is the scary part. At the point that after I got my result, like I stopped listening to the news. I still don't listen to the news till now, because like you hear stories of, oh, like if you've had COVID, this might happen or that might happen. I don't want to hear it, like I don't want to hear that. So I don't think it's a question of lonely. It's just, just the fear of having the disease itself is, for me, was the scary part. And probably going to bed at night, because like it was hard to sleep. Yeah, I couldn't sleep how I would usually sleep, because I don't know, like if I try to lie down, I feel like my oxygen is cut off, so I have to kind of sit up to sleep, So, and you fall asleep, you don't know how you're going to turn around, or like like in the next hour or two, like, and then suffocate yourself in the process. So yeah, I don't think, I honestly think for me the worst part was not being able to just go out, just being locked up in my house, in my room, and not just being able to go out, because I feel like when you're able to go outside and like go under the sun, it just kind of gives you life. So what I do is when I wake up, I just open my windows, and the way my room is, like every morning the sun like hits directly in my room, so it's just very, very, very refreshing to just have that. So I think being quarantined and having COVID is not a good combination. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just bad. Or being isolated from everything else and everyone else.
Wow. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask the next question, but before that, Zoom gives people a limit of a 40-minute limit. So, and we're already at 30-something minutes. So I'm guessing sometimes they extend it, sometimes they don't. So I'm guessing that it would go off. But if it does go off, please just click on the link and everything will be set back. Is that okay? Oh, okay.
That's fine.
My friend has said it's been extended, so that's great. Yay, that's great.
How do you text here?
Huh?
How do you even send text here? Because I'm using my phone. I don't know if that's possible.
So you have to go to the chat. So there's a part where it tells you chat, and then you send a message. You can send a message there. Is that what you were
go ahead.
trying to confirm?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So there's this thing going around. There's this statement going around that COVID kind of, or people who have had COVID or people who have COVID are kind of stigmatized. So do you think that is true? And did you experience any sort of stigma?
In my point of view, I don't have any stigmatized actually. I was fully aware about the COVID-19, so there isn't any confusion about it. And I instructed my team member and share my experience to the community people while I was in the hospital, to share my situation in media and Bible groups, so other community member can be benefited and take precaution about the COVID. That's why there's no stigma like that. I take it easy, but it's very hard. It's very hard, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Marigold.
I don't think it's stigma. I just think that people are scared, because it's a new virus and, it's still being like studied. Nobody knows, like, has all the information about the virus. So people are just scared. I don't think it's stigma, but I won't be surprised if it gets to that. If it gets to that point where, like, oh, I don't want to catch COVID, or, like, I won't be surprised of that. But, like, I haven't experienced any of, being stigmatized for having COVID or having had COVID.
Okay, interesting. Carol, are you there?
I'm still here. Sorry about that. I am so sorry. I did not realize I didn't mute myself. I'm yelling my child's name. So for me, I don't tell people I tested positive, because it becomes like, oh my God, rah, whatever. But for the most part, I have not received any negative stigma. If anything, what I have received is a lot of, oh my God, wow, you're such a warrior. You're amazing that you were able to come through this, and you're okay. There is no negativity associated with what I have received per se. I do think that what people don't know will always scare them into behaving irrational and stupid. But for the most part, my own community, the people that do know that I did have it, and even the people online, because I actually did a video where I shared the testimony of this whole situation online, and the response to it was ridiculously amazing in terms of the positivity that came through. So I believe that people that have sense, let me just put it that way, they're not being negative or irrational. They want to know, well, how did you get through? How can I get through? Like, what were you, just different things like that. So stigma for me has not been anything but positive. Wow, you're a survivor. That stigma, yes. But negativity, no, I haven't felt that.
Great. So how has this experience changed your life?
I guess I last talked, so I may as well just start it off with that. Changed my life from a spiritual perspective. It definitely had an impact, in the sense that, not that, oh my God, I need to be closer to Jesus. No, because I'm close to Jesus, period. But I believe from a spiritual perspective, what it has done is shown me that God created us perfect. And irrespective of whatever it is that comes into our body that shouldn't be there, He has created a mechanism in our body for us to fight against it. And what activates a lot of those mechanisms is the words that we speak over ourselves. So spiritually, it has shifted. Going through this has completely shifted my perspective, so much so that, like, I feel like right now, honestly, with the space that I'm in, anything that comes, I'm not saying that I'm unbreakable, but anything that comes, I serve an unbreakable God, and I will be fine. It has gotten me to that point that the things of life that we worry about daily are just too mundane. They don't deserve that much attention, because there's so much that is greater that we are meant for. The truth of the matter is that a lot of people have passed from this, and that is not something to be taken lightly. So the fact that there are survivors, I believe that it should be like a wake-up call. Well, what makes you different? Not special, but what makes you different? Why were you saved? Is it because you took all the right medications or and stuff like that? I took none. So because of that, I just believe heavily and strongly that the God that I serve is true, and He's never going to change. So that's how it has affected me. Let me put it that way.
Thank you.
Can I share
Yeah.
one thing? Yeah. Actually, I just, the thing that we have to change the definition of life and activity. So uh, you have to be prepared for anything, and anything can happen anytime. Life is not running like as per your plan. So I enjoy working with community for positive social change. And after this encounter with COVID, I realized that we have to work for the people and make ready for anything, any circumstances. That's why, and I think that you have to enjoy your life. You don't know, never know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. And Marigold?
Um, well, for me, I feel like a survivor, and this experience has just made me appreciate life and just the little things that you take for granted. You know, just having good health, not having a fever, not having a headache, being able to eat if you're hungry, and also like, you know, just appreciating your friends, you know, for coming through for you during a time like that, you know, because like everyone reacts to these things differently, and
Sure.
I never ever blame people for how they react, because you don't know why they're reacting like that, you know. Sometimes it's from a place of fear, or like, you know, or not even having enough information about the virus. So in my opinion, it's just made me appreciate um, just my health, just being healthy, being able to eat, you know, having good friends, and just having a good support system around me.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I think this will be my last question. So, are you guys now very active COVID ambassadors?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
I said, are you active COVID ambassadors now, like telling people, you know what, you need to stay home, you need to stay safe, you need to wash your hands? You know, are you pumped up with the whole advocacy message right now?
Not like an ambassador, but we can share our experience very to the people. I didn't realize that virus has different type of symptoms, and don't take any chance. Would like to say that I was suffering from continued coughing and fever. Beyond that, my sugar level become very, very high because I'm a diabetic patient and having regular medicine from couple of years, but it's gone up. So it was nearly out of control. So don't take any chance. It's very dangerous. This is our second life. This is my second life. And I would like to pray for others who are fighting with this deadly virus, and don't take any chance.
Thank you, Gajen. Harold?
Um, so for me, I also, sorry guys, don't mind me. I'm actually working while doing this, so please
Bye.
bear with me. So yeah, I don't know if I'm a warrior. I feel like having gone through this has just kind of just woken me up to some things. And truth of the matter is, people don't listen, and people don't listen to what's good for them. So I just feel like I'm gonna continue to say to folks, listen, this is not a joke, because a lot of people still think it's a flu. And I think that's, for me, the worst part, because they're making bad decisions. So, you know, just based on things like that, I would talk about it, but I'm not going from door to door talking about some guys, be sure COVID is it. Yeah, no, I'm not
Oh,
doing that.
that's great. That's great. Margot?
Well, same here too. Like, I honestly don't like to, you know, let people like talk about it, you know, because I survived it, because I don't know, it's just, it kind of draws attention to me, and I'm not really, I don't do very well with attention and stuff like that. But yes, I do like, you know, I'm not in any community groups, you know, helping people or whatever. But like, yeah, if people like need information and asking questions, I always tell them. And especially like people in Nigeria, I feel like they don't understand the meaning of quarantine. I feel like they think that quarantine, yeah, I feel they think that quarantine is, oh, it's a holiday, stay at home. Okay, yeah, stay at home, don't interact with your neighbors. But no, they stay at home, they're like FaceTiming, like going to their neighbor's house, and you know, like they don't really understand, they don't even know what social distancing is either. You know, like
I don't think
call my
that's I
family.
don't think that's relegated to Nigeria alone. I think that's all over.
We're
To be
talking
very
because we're Nigerians, so it's kind of,
no,
it's
no, no,
annoying.
no. I agree. But I'm saying I completely agree with
Right.
you. But I'm saying it's unfortunate, but that's happening right here in the States.
Wow.
That's why they had to have people put police presence in certain places, just simply because of the fact that, like, I remember I was just in the supermarket on Friday, and I was at the cashier, and there are clearly line demarcations for 6 feet away. A woman was right up behind me. I had to say, ma'am, you need to go over there. It's what I'm saying is that that is not a constitution that's just Nigerian alone. I think people are just, they don't listen. They refuse to pay attention to what's important. You know what I mean? Again, it has a lot to do with ignorance. I was just tagging on to say it's happening everywhere. It's not just Nigeria.
Yeah, it's another one thing.
Yeah.
I noticed that worldwide, the people, and maybe there's some lack of education or awareness, or some people, they don't want to listen carefully, but they are not following the scientific rule or health professional suggestion, which is very crucial. Actually, I would like to say that please follow the health professionals' rules and regulation, and stay, the social contacting. We need to break the chain. This is the only thing we can do. So stay, the home as possible as. That's very important. Don't take this is like a holiday. This is the
Yeah.
pandemic.
It's hard for people to understand, especially if they don't have someone who directly has COVID. It's like, do you know anybody that have COVID? No. This thing is, it's not real, Like
I
they don't
beg to
think it's real.
differ. I beg to differ. I want to believe, I'm not trying to sound sarcastic, I'm trying to shade or anything, but I want to believe everyone has a functional brain. And for the fact that the whole world is literally on standstill right now because of one virus should send
Yeah.
indicators to your mind that something must be wrong.
That's what
If
you
you
think.
think that
That's
it
what
is
you think,
your
but it's not.
country, or if you think that some people are just making it up, then the whole world shouldn't be on standstill. I'm sorry, like I feel like we've gone past the point of making excuses for people to say that everyone has a functional brain. You can
But
think.
it's not an excuse, JB. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
People keep saying, I understand that people don't understand, some people may not understand the gravity. But I think one thing is certain here, the whole world is on standstill. You might not believe the millions on high numbers of people that are dying on a daily basis, but for the fact that the whole world, countries
But
are
JB, hang
crippled.
on a second. Hang on. The truth of the matter is that your country may be on standstill. And your country, like take for example, Nigeria, for instance, because I completely agree with Marigold. Nigeria, for instance, they say the government has said, okay, this is why we're doing this. But how many times has the government said this is why we're doing this? And ultimately it's a big old stupid lie, right? Or corruption or some nonsense, right? At the end of the day, people are only going to be disposed to as much as their experiences allow them to understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is that as much as they can see about Yankee, the UK, all of that, they hear things because even in a lot of cases, people see things on their thing. People are passing social media and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, unless this thing comes into your backyard directly,
you would not know that it
comes into your backyard directly, it becomes still hearsay. You understand what I'm trying to say? And while you should have some kind of understanding or inkling, you're not really getting the real facts. All you're getting is what people are saying. And granted, that should make a difference, or it should tell you, hey, stop the foolishness, you need to do something. But at the end of the day, people are not necessarily moved by the things that they hear, unless they see it. Unless it is knocking, hello, like Ebola was knocking. They're not going to take it seriously. They're not going to take it seriously. And it's so unfortunate.
Otherwise, no choice.
It's so unfortunate because, it's like we as individuals, we as people within our own sandboxes, but also as community advocates, governmental, all that public policy, those people need to get into the grassroots, but they're not. And because they're not in the grassroots, people that are in one village here or in one city there that is not really exposed to a whole lot, they are not going to look at the gravity of this situation because the world is on standstill. Look, I've seen a meme going about Facebook where every country fell down on COVID and Nigeria, we are standing strong. That's stupid. But at the end of the day, the people will go for that instead of going, stay 6 feet away from your neighbor.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So ignorance sells faster than good sense.
Even,
you see what I'm trying to say? So
even the face masks that they sell, like, I don't think it is even good enough to protect them from like the virus. Like, people are selling just random, just taking material and sew it without even checking. So that's to tell you how much like people are not taking it seriously. Because if you take it seriously, you make sure that what you're wearing to protect yourself is protecting you from the virus that you're going out to meet, right?
If
So
you take it seriously, you would stay home. And
yeah,
Thank
Carol
you.
just-
Thank you.
necessary.
Thank
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Thank you.
Carol just said the way I'm thinking. It's exactly what it is. Until you know somebody who has it, you'll never think that this virus is.
I
You'll
feel
never think.
terrible, but then it is the sad truth. And I just pray that people, I was very upset this morning because I saw some pictures. I'm like, no, this cannot be happening. But then it is as it is. Ignorance is, we can't deny the existence of ignorance. So that is.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys. I've had so much fun. It's great to hear 3 different stories, 3 different perspectives, and, you know, trying to catch up on how you guys have, you know, successfully overcome this,
Thank you,
new normal.
JB. Thank you for setting this good environment, and thank you, Marigold and Carol.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much indeed for sharing. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
welcome, Gadget.
Thank you. So have
JB,
yourself
thanks for having
a
me.
great
Appreciate it.
day.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
bye
You're
bye.
welcome.
Stay safe.
Alex was asking
You
a question
too.
Yeah, she answered.
about. Oh, he was asking a question
answered.
about what drugs we took and blah blah blah.
Okay.
I
So
text him in the chat. I text him
Oh
in
yeah,
the chat.
I can't chat on this thing. That's why I try to find it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Do you want to share what
Yeah.
you took?
Right.
Yeah. So no, I took Benylin. So it's called Benylin All-in-One. It's a syrup, and it treats like fever, body aches, pain, blah blah blah. And I took that, and I also took vitamin D. I took vitamin C. I took
Okay.
zinc, and I took water and lemon. Exactly what Carl took, and just Benylin, which
Thank you
is
very much.
very interesting. Yeah. So
Alex,
in case you know
if you have cough, hello Alex,
Come
if you
again.
have cough, just I took, you know, the ginger,
Okay.
lemon and honey, make like a juice, and we have that. That's support for your coughing.
Okay.
That's
That's good to
very good. Yeah.
Ginger, lemon, and what again, please?
Ginger,
Honey,
lemon,
honey.
honey.
Honey. Okay.
All right.
ginger,
Thank you.
yeah.
I use that. It's useful for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, JBK. Bye, Carl.
Bye, darling.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Gadget.
Bye bye.
Much.
Thank you. Bye.